Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday already, Friday. And today we're going to be talking about how pennies can pay off debt. It's going to be, wait a second. Let me get rid of that. Okay, Friday. And listen, I need to show you something already. Let me put something on the screen that, all right. Have you seen, anybody seen this? Okay, a bunch of pennies. All right. Do you know anybody who's collected pennies? I mean, a ton of them, a ton of pennies. And I want you to know I pick up pennies in the parking lot. And the reason why I pick up pennies in the parking lot is because pennies are powerful. We're going to get into this today, how debt is really managed, how we can use it to our advantage, and how pennies make a difference. So if you're ready to see how pennies can make a difference in helping you to manage debt so that you can buy more and pay less, you want to pay attention to this show. So folks, let's get ready. Let's get at it right now. Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today, folks, we're going to be talking about how pennies can make a difference in paying off debt. You wouldn't think that a little penny could make a difference, but it does. So because we've never been taught how loans actually work. So when you understand the amortization schedule, how banks make their money through interest, you can learn how to control interest. And not only that, but once you understand this, that P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity, then you can understand a lot better about how pennies make a difference. You see, you need to be in control of how pennies can take you. Listen, you need to know how you control how much interest you pay. You are in control of that. Did you know that? We're not taught that. We're taught that somebody else is in control, and all we do is follow their instructions. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, there's way more to it than that. Way more to it than that. Okay. So here's all we've got to do. Here's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. We need to understand that we've actually been lied to for many, many, many years. You are under the impression, most people are under the impression that a 30-year mortgage leads to the last 30 years. Or when you buy a car for, 84 months, you need to pay on that for. No, you don't need to. No. What you need to do is learn how to give the bank back their money in a way that it doesn't cost you as much interest as they want to charge. Did you know that you can give the bank back their money in a way that makes it impossible for them to charge you interest? Well, we're going to show you some things here today. All right. So listen, let's get these pennies off the screen. And we're going to take the pennies off. All right. And once we take those pennies off, we're going to get into, I'm going to put some other things up in just a second. Okay. So let's get these off. All right. And there we are. There we are. Okay. Listen, I want to say good morning to everybody. I want to say hello to everybody. I've got some folks in from Clubhouse. I want to say good morning to Clubhouse. I want to say good morning to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Share this information with everyone. And I'm going to admit it right now. I need your help. I need your help. I can't talk to everyone. I talk to as many people as I possibly can about this information. Grand Rising there, Steve. All right. I see you there. I see you, Steve. Okay. I talk to everyone I can about this subject. The reason why is because everybody uses loans. Everybody uses like a mortgage, a credit card, student loan, personal loans. But we have never been taught how they work. Therefore, somebody is making a whole lot of money because we don't know how they work. Now, just because you have a payment you can afford doesn't mean that that payment is still expensive at the same time. And we're going to go over that in just a minute here. So let me go ahead and put this on the screen. And let me see here. There we go. All right. And all right. So we're changing screens right now. There we are. Boom. Okay. Uh-oh. I forgot to do something. Let me do this first. I got to move this over to a different screen. Now we can talk about it. All right, folks, we need you to know that most of your debt, no, all of your debt. Yeah, all of your debt. Your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, your car loans, on average, can be paid off in about 7 years. Not just mortgages. Why? Because you borrowed the money. You just need to know the right time and in the right amounts how to pay the money back, which makes it impossible for the bank to charge you interest. Did you know you could do that? I'm going to get into that a little bit today. So if you want to see my screen, come on over to YouTube and click that button. Not only can you see my screen, you can get involved in the program. Yeah, you can come up on stage. You don't have to show your picture if you don't want to. You don't have to turn the video on, but at least come and talk to us. We have put in that technology where you, our studio audience, can join the show. It's amazing. Just click on that link that you find in the chat. I see you, Colin Black says good morning to me. Good morning to you. All right. Steve Mack, I already said good morning to you. Let me see, folks. Oh, Liz Johnson, good morning to you. Anna Brown, good morning to you. All right. And listen, I say, Yannicka, I see you in there. All right. Well, Yannicka, where are you in the world? Okay. Okay. Because I know you're not in the US right now, but where are you? And tell me what time it is there, because I appreciate your dedication, because I know it's either early or late wherever you are. So I'm glad to see you. So folks, here, let's get into this thing. How to pay off stuff in about 7 years. First of all, you need to understand that you can get a hold of me at any time. You can get a hold of me. Just go to ice10k.com. ice10k.com, and our website is pillmethod.com. That's what you need to know today. ice10k.com. That's my digital business card. Get a hold of us there. You want to keep that as part of your access to us. All right. So here's what we want you to know today. 90% of the people you know will never pay off a mortgage. 90% of the people you know will never get out of debt. 90%. 90% of all the people that you know will never be out of debt. That is a failure rate that is unacceptable to me. You would not send your kids to a school where 90% of them were going to fail or fail to graduate. You wouldn't send your kids to that school. So why are we in a system that's set up so that most of us, 90% of us, will fail to do what we set out to accomplish? That means buy something on time and pay it off before we die. Lord have mercy. There's got to be a better way than that. There's got to be a better way. So listen, what you want to know is that 30-year loans, all your loans, student loans, credit cards, everything can be paid off in about 7 to 9 years on average. Now, some people do it a little faster on our program. Some people take a little bit longer. Now, if you have 30 years worth of debt, and I say you can pay it off in 7 to 9 years, but in your financial situation, let's say it took 10 or 11 years. That's still better than 30. And for some people, for most people, it's better than not at all. You hear what I'm saying? You can be in complete control of your money. And that's what this show is all about. P.I.L.L method. All right. That's what we want you to know, the truth about lending today, so that you can borrow money at a discount. You can borrow money at a discount. You can do all of this without refinancing the debt. Okay. You can do all of this without changing your budget. What? Yeah. The same budget you qualified for the loans, the same budget that you use to qualify for these loans, you can use the same budget to pay a lot less interest once you know how. Now, once you know the basics, what if you plugged everything into an AI system, artificial intelligence that has been created just to manage money? Artificial intelligence created to manage money so that you can optimize the use of your money. Meaning, how can my dollar be stretched so that it can buy more and pay less interest? All right. Oh, man. So Yannicka says, I couldn't find out how to get on I couldn't find out how to get on with the phone now on the computer. Great, Yannicka. I'm glad. So click on the link. We're putting the link in the chat. And when you click on that link, make sure that you're in Chrome. Okay. Chrome works better. And don't come into YouTube. Choose the other option that will let you into our studio. So don't click on YouTube. You're leaving YouTube when you click the link. Come into our studio. Okay. Excellent. All right. Let me see what else is going on here. Okay. So, all right. I'm seeing all the people coming in. All right. So now, where was I? Oh, without refinancing, without change to your budget, and let's see, without sacrificing lifestyle. I talk to so many people. When it comes to managing debt, they have been brainwashed. So brainwashed that they think they have to give up a great life just to pay off debt. This is now, where am I going to get that extra money, Don, to pay off the debt? And when they come to me, it is so hard to get them to see you don't need more money. You just need to pay less interest. We're going to use your financial situation that you're in now, your financial footprint, and show you how to use your money more effectively. Listen, I had a couple. Their video is on our YouTube channel. It's the Barker couple. They had $13.06 in the bank when I met them. All right. They both have master's degrees. They're both teachers. Right. But they had $13 in the bank when I met them. And they were worried. They didn't realize that I could help them. They wanted to believe that I could help them. But it was beyond their belief that I could. It took some time for them to understand the P.I.L.L method way of handling the debt. They had to realize that everything that they have already learned about how money works, you have to forget about that. That has to go by the wayside. You can learn something new. The P.I.L.L method way is the way to understand that. So after they understood it, did you realize that they paid off, what was it, In the first 11 months on our program, they paid off $24,000 worth of debt. Where did that extra money come from? They didn't have the extra money. They had their current budget. We just showed them how to pay a lot less interest with the money that they're making. All right. And during the time they were getting out of debt, paying off that $24,000 in debt in the first 11 months on our program, guess what? Along the way, they had more money in the bank than they ever had at the same time they were paying off debt. Folks, once you understand the truth about your money, you can do some tremendous things and you can live a great lifestyle while you are doing it. All right. Now, what we're teaching here at the P.I.L.L method, you will not hear from your accountant. You won't get it from your financial planner. You will not get it from your banker. Please don't go there to ask. All you're going to do is get disappointment. They're not going to be able to help you. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Don't even bother going to these financial gurus like Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Gene Chatsky, Larry Burkett. Listen, they teach what they teach, okay? And what they teach worked for a while, all right? But they can't teach what we teach here at the P.I.L.L method, so don't try to compare. So people have asked me, says, Don, why doesn't Dave Ramsey endorse what you're talking about? Well, because it was invented here. This is not part of regular financial education. In fact, what we teach here is not taught at any place, anywhere else. Here's what I have to say but let's put this on the screen. Why don't they teach it? The reason why they don't teach what we teach here at the P.I.L.L method is because the ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education right now or any time in the past. This is all new information. Don, if it's not taught anywhere else, how did you get it? It's simple. Autism spectrum disorder. Have you ever heard of it? Autism spectrum disorder. That's what I have. And so when I see things in pictures and patterns. So when I see an amortization schedule, I see certain patterns that a lot of other people don't see. So when I look at it, I'm saying, why are we doing it this way when we could do it this way and save so much money? It's right there in front of us. We're just not taught to see it. That's why I'm here. That's why our business is here. This is why our customer service people are working for you tirelessly, 8-9 hours a day, 5 days a week to help our clients understand what's going on with their money. You can use a lot less money to buy your house, to buy your education, to buy a car. You can use a lot less money because you don't have to pay all of that interest. You can cut your interest cost by 75% when you understand what we're talking about. And that doesn't mean use a lot of cash. Don't pay for things cash. Cash is not king here. A wise use of somebody else's money. That's what will get you where you want to go. A wise use of somebody else's money. So stop thinking that cash is king, because it is not. Mr. Ramsey, will you stop telling people to save up a bunch of cash, sit it in the bank, making 0.1%, and think that they are doing well financially just because they don't have debt? No. We're going to show you how you can manage debt and build wealth at the same time. When you put all your money in the bank, you're not building wealth, folks. You are losing it. You are losing wealth by putting your money in the bank, stacking it up there. All right. Because they're not paying you anything to keep it there. You're just making bankers rich. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Leverage and liquidity, understanding all of your money. Okay. When you understand leverage, you want to find out what is the least amount I can pay to eliminate my debt, not the most. Okay. People like Susie and Dave, they want us to think that we have to steal money from our family's ability to live life to the full. I mean, create memories. I mean, use some of that money for us to live well. Who wants to work all the time and just pay bills? Take all of your money and throw it at the debt. That's inefficient. What you want to know is, what is the least amount that I can pay? What is the right time I can pay it? Which is the right debt I can pay it to, so that I can maximize the amount of interest that I save per dollar. For every dollar I apply to principal, how many dollars in interest can I avoid paying? And I want every dollar to be maximized so I can kill the maximum amount of interest. That's what you want to know today, folks. And that's counterintuitive. That goes against everything that you've ever been taught. What we've been taught is to focus on the debt itself and not on how much it costs to manage the debt. And if the banks are successful in getting us to think that way, they will continue to make money. And I mean a lot of it. No matter what system you use, no matter how fast you pay off your debt, you're going to pay more interest than you need to. In fact, you have two families that have the average going on. The average family has 13 different debts. The average family pays 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest payments alone. The average. You take two average families, one using Mr. Ramsey's debt snowball method, and you have another family with the P.I.L.L method making the same amount of money. Guess what? Those using the snowball method will pay by the time they're out of debt. Now, will they be out of debt sooner than 30 years? Yes, they will. But will they pay about $50,000 to $70,000 more in interest on average than they need to? Yes, they will, because the debt snowball does nothing, absolutely nothing, to help you to optimize interest savings. Nothing. And why is that? Because of this formula I'm putting on this page right now. That formula right there. That's the formula that amortizes your loan. You want to see this? Come on over to YouTube. Click the link. Come on over here. See what's happening. Okay? Now, if the bank has this formula to make a lot of money, where's your formula not to pay it? Do you have one? Do you have a formula? Yeah, you do now with the P.I.L.L method. Our cloud-based computing platform, plugging your information into it, will guide you just like financial GPS. I mean, we call it the Waze app for your money, okay? Because it gives you constant updated information on how to manage your money based on what is going on currently in your life. It's not a spreadsheet, okay? It is a dynamic living program that tells you exactly what to do in the month that you need that information, based on little things like, how much did you pay on your for gasoline this month, or how much did you pay for electricity this month, or how little did you pay for grocery shopping this month. So we keep track of all of that, and based on that, we're going to tell you with our program how to manage your debt so that you can still live a great life. Oh my goodness, you can't beat it with a stick. Okay? Here's what banks don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how to manage debt. They don't want you to know how to manage debt. Okay? So can I give you just a quick example of how out of control current amortization is if you don't understand it? It is completely out of control. Well, not completely out of control. You can control it if you know how. But let me show you what's actually going on right now. Here's what's happening going. We're going to just use a 3% mortgage. I mean, as little as 3%. Look at this. Here's a $500,000, okay, $500,000 house, and at 3%, total interest paid on this house, if you have it for 30 years, is $258,000. Does that look like? Does $258,000 look like 3% of 500,000? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. Total paid back on this loan, as if you ever pay it back, is $758,000, which means that this loan is not a 3% loan. It means it's 51%. $258,887.20 is 51.777% of $500,000. Folks, do you want to keep paying your money out like that? Or do you want to do something about it? Do you want to use your pennies to help you to get out of debt? Oh my gosh. Your pennies can definitely help you to get out of debt. You want to know how out of control this thing is? That at 4%, you're going to pay back $359,000 on this $500,000 loan. That's 71.87%. Why isn't anybody telling us this? Why isn't it broken down like this for all of us to see? If you have a 5% mortgage, you're going to pay back $466,000 in interest on a $500,000 loan. That means your house is now a $966,000 house. Do you want to pay $966,000 for a $500,000 home? No, you do not. That means your loan is actually 93.256%. At 6%, now you're paying back more in interest than you borrowed in principal. Now it's $1,079,000 to buy that same house at 6% interest. What? Yeah, it's a payment you can afford, but it's way expensive to maintain it. And the interest rates right now are 7%. That means paying back $697,000 on a $500,000 home. That's 139.5%. Now, even though that's what the bank wants, you don't have to pay it. How many of you want to know how pennies can actually help you? How pennies can happily can help you? Hey, Yannicka. Oh, Yannicka is in Paris. Listen, I wanted to be in Paris this summer for the Olympics, Yannicka. I did. I won't be able to be there. We got too much work to do here. I wanted to be there, but we got too much work to do here with the P.I.L.L method, helping people understand what's going on here. But anyway, if you're there during the Olympics, enjoy the Olympics. Thank you for being here, though. Okay. All right. Now, let me show you. Let me show you something about this loan. If you don't know what's going on with amortization, if no one teaches you, this is exactly what's going to happen. Even if you make good money, even if you pay your bills on time, I'm going to show you what actually happens behind the scenes that you're not being taught in school, but you really do need to be taught in school. Okay. Everybody needs to know this. So get my book and start teaching your children. Okay. Go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com and get my book. All right. And start teaching your children. We're going to put it on the screen here in a few minutes, though. But I need to show you on a $300,000 loan. All right. At 4.25%, that's 4.25%. 4.25%. On a $300,000 loan, you are going to, your payment, your first interest payment is $1,062.50 that month. The first the first amount of money that goes to pay down the debt is only $413.32. That's what's happening when you don't understand it. This is a payment you can afford. It's still less than paying rent for a comparable house, but still only $413 of your money gets applied to the loan. The rest is interest. So how much interest in the first year? A total of $12,652. Yeah, that much interest in the first year. How much interest in the first 10 years on this loan? $115,428.11 of your hard-earned money goes to interest in the first 10 years on this loan at 4.25%. That is a ridiculous amount of money. How long do you want that to continue? Do you want it to continue? All right. Listen, I see you, Jonathan. I see you. Mr. Jones, thank you for being here. So if you want to do better than this, if you want to see how pennies can help you manage your debt, put a number 9 in the chat wherever you are right now. Put a number 9 in the chat where you are right now, and we're going to dig into this thing and see how small amounts of money can help us to do better. Okay, put a number 9 in the chat. Let me see that you're really interested in wanting to know. Okay, I wish I could get somebody to come into the studio though, because I would love to be able to talk to you this morning. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Let me get my water ready. Okay. All right. So I see. Oh, there it is. I see some number 9s. I see some number 9s. Come on in. Come listen. We're posting the link to come into the chat right now. Come in and talk to me. All right, and be part of the show. Please be part of the solution. But if you want to invite other people to see these videos on YouTube, become an affiliate. You go to ice10k.com and click on the link right there, right on the page, that you can become an affiliate. It takes about 15 seconds. And you can start sharing the YouTube channel with others and get paid. When they become clients, we will pay you. All you're doing is sharing the YouTube channel. We're going to talk about that too. Okay. So listen, join our team. Help us out. Help other people out. We need your help. And we want this information to go out to the whole world. We want everyone, every household should have an opportunity cost calculator. That is our AI system. An opportunity cost calculator is going to help everyone get out of debt in 7 to 9 years and grow wealth beyond their wildest dreams, because they're not giving their money to the bank. When you stop giving that money to the bank, you can invest it in yourselves. That's what we're talking about. So in the first 10 years on this loan, the amount of principal that's paid off is $61,670.29. That's how much went to the loan in 10 years. On a $300,000 loan, only $61,000 has been paid down in the first 10 years. The rest of the money went to interest. So how much has been paid out in the first 10 years total? $177,098.40 in the first 10 years. And out of that money, only $61,000 has paid down the debt. That is crazy. We need to stop doing that. Okay. Can I get some people on board to stop doing this today? Okay. We're going to give you an idea of what you can do to stop doing this in just a minute. Okay. So I want to say, we're going to go over what prepayment of principal is all about. Okay. And how you have a right to do what we're going to give you, what we're going to tell you today. You have this right today. And here's your right. The borrower's right to prepay. You have a right to make payments of principal at any time before they are due. When you give the bank back their money, even in small increments, when at a time they're not expecting it, it makes it impossible. And I will repeat that. It makes it impossible for them to charge you interest. You are in control of your loan, not them. And so when we put you in control, you can borrow money at a discount while your other money is being invested so that you can live life now and in the future at a higher level because you have learned not to give that interest money to the bank. All right. So a payment of principal only is known as a prepayment. So all of this is about how to prepay a mortgage so that you can borrow money at a discount and live well while you're doing it. When you make a prepayment, you just have to let the note holder know that you're making it. Okay. And in for a lot of companies now, they have it right on their website, how you can make a payment at any time. It's right on the website. And it's easy now. Before, maybe you had to send a letter, you had to write a note, you had to put it on the check or whatever. It's easy now to prepay, to let the note holder know that you are paying when you want to prepay. Now, they have to set it up for you this way, but they don't have to tell you how to use it. They don't have to tell you how powerful it is. They don't have to tell you that you're borrowing money at a severe discount. I mean, 75% off. What does that mean, 75% off? Let's say you're supposed to pay $100,000 in interest. 75% off means you're only going to pay $25,000 in interest for the same thing. Everybody else is paying $100,000. Because you understand this, you can pay $25,000 instead of the $100,000, which means you have $75,000 you did not have to spend for that thing. That's $75,000 you can invest in your own family that you didn't give the bank. That's what we're talking about today. When you make a prepayment, it says here, you will tell the note holder in writing, that's different now. It's on the website now. You can make a full prepayment or partial prepayments. You can pay it all off at one time, or you can pay it off in small increments. But every time you give them money when they're not expecting it, it makes it impossible for them to charge you interest. So you get your equity for free. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Now, the third paragraph is most important. The note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. So every single dime you give them at the right time, every single dime you give them, all of that money goes to pay down the loan. Zero pennies goes to interest. It says it right here in your note. In every mortgage in the US, this is what it says right here. Okay. If I make, the note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. If I make a partial prepayment, there will be no changes in the due date or in the amount of my monthly payment. Now, that means even though you're giving the money back to them early, it doesn't change your due date. You still have a monthly payment due every month. And the amount doesn't change. But what does change is the number of payments you will make. Instead of making 360 payments on your mortgage, how would you like to pay 78? We can show you how to do that. Okay. All right. Now, here's where we get into understanding how pennies can help you. All right. Here's a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. 200,000 at 6%. I need everybody to see this. You want to see these numbers. You do. You absolutely do. 200,000 at 6%. The payment is $1199.10. Okay. And here's what the bank wants. Let me just put it on the screen. And most people will pay this and more. $200,000 borrowed, $231,000 in interest paid back, for a total of $431,676. That's one house for you and one house for the bank. Do you believe it's time out for that? I do. I think it's time out for that. I don't think we should be doing that. That's 115.838% interest. That's not 6% interest. That's 115% interest. But we keep being told it's 6% and we believe it. Why? Because everybody's talking about it. But you do not have to do that. Let me show you something here. Okay. The very first payment, $199.10 goes to principal, $1,000 goes to interest, and we're paid down to right here, $199,800.90. Okay? We're paid down there because the $199.10 went to principal. Now, every time you're on a line of this amortization schedule, just look to the next line to know what to do. So once I make my payment, or line number one, we'll call it January. Then the next thing I do is on line number two, which would be February. That would be next month's payment. And $200.10 would go to principal and $9.99 would go to interest, because that's how it works. Every month, a little more money goes to principal, a little less money goes to interest. And now we're paid down to line two on the amortization schedule, where we owe $199,600.80. Why is this program so powerful for the banks? Because they get to discount your payment by over 80% each time because of the amortization formula, they get to discount your payment by over 80%. Right here. Okay? 80%, they get to discount your payment, so that only a small amount gets applied to the loan. So while you're trying to pay back a $200,000 loan, you're doing it at $200 payments for a while. Then eventually you get to $300 payments, then $400 pretty soon. And that's why it takes so many doggone payments to pay off a $200,000 loan, because this thing discounts your payment. Now, the wonderful thing about math is this: I don't need to totally understand it to benefit from it. You can benefit from it if you just know what to do, even though you don't understand the math. Watch this. So if I understand what to do, I can make my first payment on this loan. I can look at payment number two. Now, I'm not explaining the P.I.L.L method. I'm just kind of showing you how all of this works. When people see this, they think that this is the P.I.L.L method and that's all there is. No, we have a cloud-based computing platform that takes this information and puts it on steroids so you can save a lot more interest than we're talking about right here. Okay? So this 200, so if I make my first payment in January, my principal payment for February is $200.10. What we read before is that I can make that $200 payment whenever I want. I don't have to wait until the next month. So if I make this first payment in January, I'm looking at this $200.10. What if I gave it to the bank early? I'm paid down to line two on my amortization schedule right now, because we read all the money I prepay goes directly to principal. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You cannot charge me interest, because all of the money has to go to principal if I prepay. It's in writing. We're going to understand the math here. And the amount of interest, because of the math, the amount of interest they would have charged you is the same amount of interest you can save. Watch this. $200 goes to principal when you want to do it. And when you do that, you save the $999 on line two. You never have to pay. You just eliminated nearly $1,000 worth of interest just because you chose when to give the bank money where it made it impossible for them to charge you interest. If you had waited till next month, it would cost you $999 just to give them $200.10. That's exactly what's going on now. When you put money on principal, you're actually creating equity. Did you know that? the distance between how much the house is worth and how much you owe, you created another $200.10 in equity. The way they want you to do it is pay for your equity, $999. If you give them that $200.10 when you want to, you get the equity for free. Oh, wow. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by the truth of what's going on here at the P.I.L.L method. I can give them the $200 and get my equity for free when I've been conditioned to pay $999 for my equity and feel okay about it. Shouldn't I feel even better if I could pay the $200 and get my equity for free? Listen, now we can start to theorize. Now we can start to put together some strategies to save even more interest with less money. Watch this. Once you understand what you can do with your money, instead of stacking up. Now, here's another thing. I need you to think about this. There are people that are proponents out there that say you need to have 6 months or 7 months or even a year's worth of cash stored up in the bank just in case something goes wrong. Well, what if you have some cash in the bank? I mean, how about $603.30? That's the next 3 principal payments. That's the next 3 principal payments. $200.10, $201.10, $202.10. That's the next 3. What if out of the money that you stacked up, okay, that the financial gurus say that you have to keep all this money in the bank, making 0.1%. I mean, you're not even keeping up with inflation when you do that. I mean, your money is becoming worth less and less by keeping it in the bank. But watch this. Could you take $603.30 out of all that money you're storing up and put it on and prepay it to this loan? And all $603.30 will go to principal, making it impossible for the bank to charge you nearly $3,000 in interest. You just eliminated that. And you go from payment number 1 to payment number 5 on your amortization schedule. You start to shrink the amortization schedule. You're not just killing interest, you're killing payments. Boom, just like that. Killing interest, kill payments. With small amounts of money, pennies. And listen, when you do that, you're getting a fabulous return on your money. $600 invested, almost $3,000 in benefit. Oh boy, you can't beat that with a stick. So, this is why it is important to focus on interest cost and not interest rate. Focus on interest cost and not interest rate. We're going to get into, I'm going to take a little break right here. Okay. Then I'm going to dig into how pennies can save you tons and tons and tons of interest, just pennies. We're going to get into that right after this break.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Okay, folks, here's what you want to do. Go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and you will be able, let me bring up my screen here. Let's go. There we go. so I can see what's going on. Okay, come out to ice10k.com and get a free savings and earnings report so that you can understand how small amounts of money optimized can kill fantastic amounts of interest. Okay, so when you go to ice10k.com, just go down here to where it says underneath ET's picture and click on get a savings and earnings report. Here's what it says: get a free savings report. Get a free savings report. We can help you to calculate, okay, the month, day, and year you could be debt free, and it's usually within a 7 to 9 year window, all because you're paying 75% less interest. That's it. Now, before I said you need to get my book and start teaching your children so that they won't have to unlearn what we've learned. This is what gets in the way of most people when they come to the P.I.L.L method. Getting rid of everything they have ever been taught, and everything they've been taught about money makes the bank more money. And I'm telling you, it's hard to stop doing that. It's hard. And I get that. But we can teach our children sooner by getting the book. Go down and click on get the book. Buy the book today. Read the book. Understand the basics here and get rid of those old ideas about money and adopt the new ideas about money by reading the book and sharing it with your children. Teach them and they will know. Okay? And don't forget this. Become an affiliate. All right. So go back to the card here, ice10k.com. All right. And right down here at the bottom, click on become an affiliate. It only takes about 15 seconds. Fill that out and then tell us how you want to get paid and hit submit. Now, here's what you do. People want to know, well, Don, what do we do next? It is this simple. Okay. Write this down. We're going to send you out within a week or so. We're going to send you out a letter. You don't get it. You don't get anything instantly when you become an affiliate, but within a week, you'll get an email. Okay. And what you want to know is find people who want to do something different about their money. Okay. They're tired of paying all of that interest and they want to do something different. Get them over to our YouTube channel. Let them watch some of the videos and call them 2 days later. See if they want more information. If they do, go back to the same ICE 10K digital business card. Okay. Scroll down underneath my picture right here and click on refer a friend right there. Click on that. You fill this out and send it in with their name, their phone number, their email address, their zip code. And you put your name and your phone number right here so we'll know that it's you who sent it. And give us a little bit of information about them. All right. When's the best time to call them? How you know them, how you met them, just whatever information you think will be pertinent to us calling them. So when we call them, they know who gave us the information. Okay. They know you're telling them to expect a call and we'll call them. Okay. We're going to get and help them to get a savings and earnings report so they'll know the month, day, and year they'll be debt free. And when they become a client, we'll pay you. Then once you fill all this out, click submit. When you click submit, we'll get the information and our team will go to work. All right. So that's how Anna Brown says, Anna Brown says, I need your help. I'm interested. So Anna Brown, see, here's what you're going to do. We're going to give you our phone number. Okay. I'm going to put my phone number in here right now for you. Okay. I want you to know we see you. 256 886 1867. Okay. 256 886 1867. We have it crawling across the screen as well. Give my team a call today. And I tell you what I'll do. If you call the team today and leave a message, I will call you back personally. How about that? I will call you back and answer your questions and get you what you want to know. I will do that for you today. Okay. Anna Brown says, yes, she will. Yes, she will. How about that? Okay. So call that number and we will be able to help you. All right. So, folks, listen, I promised to show you how pennies can make a difference. I promise show you how pennies can make a difference. So we're going to take this off the screen. We're going to bring back, I'm going to bring back the slideshow. Okay. And we're going to, let me see, where did it go? Where did it go? All right, there it is. And we're putting it back on the screen right now. Okay. So when you focus on interest cost and not interest rate. So Donna Wilson says, will you repeat how to become an affiliate again? Yes. Go to ice10k.com. Okay. Go to ice10k.com and click on where it says become an affiliate. It is that easy. Okay. ice10k.com and click on where it says become an affiliate. It takes 15 seconds to fill that out. All right. Send it in. And then once you send that in, then in about a week, you will get an email from us giving you other instruction. But it's this easy. Just point people to the YouTube channel, the P.I.L.L Method YouTube channel, and then call them in a couple of days and see if they want more information. If they do, then you go back to the ice10k.com card, all right, the digital business card, scroll down underneath my picture, and then fill it out. Fill out refer family and friends. Fill that information out. Make sure you put your name and number in there. It's that simple. When they become a client, we pay you anywhere from $300 to $3,000 a month. $300 to $3,000 a month. Boom, we can pay you. All right, there you have it. You're so welcome, Miss Donna. All right, so let's get back into this thing. Focus on interest cost, not interest rate. One more time. Focus on interest cost and not interest rate. Here you go. Here is the power of the penny. I needed all that information before to set this part up because we need to dispel the idea that you need a lot of money to handle your debt, to pay it off sooner. You don't. Okay, because the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. Does that make sense? Because if we can give the bank their money and make it impossible for them to charge us interest, doesn't that mean that the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt? Because these are the tiny payments that keep going to principal. But you can send larger payments to principal cheaper because you don't have to pay them interest to do it. So the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in the debt. So if you can reduce the amount of interest you pay, that means more of your money will go to principal and you get out of debt sooner. So it's not about getting out of debt fast, ladies and gentlemen. It's about getting out of debt cheap. That's what we're all about. Paying the least amount of money that's mathematically possible to borrow money. You are in control. So look at this, $200. We just learned if I prepay $200, it will save me about $1,000 in interest. Amazing. That's 5 to 1, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 500% return on your money. Prepay $200 and save $1,000. Where else can you invest $200 and make $1,000? How long would you have to keep your money in the bank, $200 to make $1,000 in interest? Or any investment that you know of that will give you a 500% return on your money. This is instant. And instant savings. All right. So, and what happens if you decide I don't want to pay $200? I just want to pay $100. Look at this. $100 will save you. If I cut that $200 in half, I will save half the interest, which means I save $500 in interest. Does that make sense to you? If 200 saves 1,000, that means 100 will save 500. But I don't want to pay 100 this time. I want to pay 50. I want to cut it in half one more time. I want to pay $50. And on this particular mortgage, it would save about $250 in interest I never have to pay. Has anybody ever pointed this out to you before? How powerful small amounts of money can be? $50 saving $250 in interest you don't have to pay anymore? Well, let's cut it in half one more time. Now we're down to $25. Can you come up with $25 to put on this loan and save $125 in interest you never have to pay? Lord have mercy. That is huge. I mean, I get excited. Every time I do this, I get excited and point this out. So let's cut it in half again. $12.50, $75. Cut it in half again. $6.25 will save you $37.50 in interest on this loan that you never have to pay. All the way down to $3.13. $3.13 will save you $18.75. So at this point, I'd love to ask this question. If you gave me $3.13 and I gave you back $18.75, ladies and gentlemen, how many times would you do that? Yeah, unlimited. You give me $3.13, I give you back $18.75. You would do that all day, every day, and twice the amount on Sundays. Oh my gosh. The bank has to do the same thing. The bank has to do the same thing. When you give them $3.13 when they're not expecting it, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $18.75. Your small amount of money becomes more powerful when you focus on interest cost instead of interest rate. That's what we're talking about. That's what I've been spending the last 19 years of my life trying to get over to people so they can understand this. Focus on that. I need you right now to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right now so that other people can see this. Subscribe, like the videos, and comment. That improves the algorithm loves that and pushes our videos out to more people. And all you did was subscribe. Subscribe, like, and comment. Do it right now. Okay? So I'm not done with this yet. I'm not done at all with this. Okay. Anna Brown, I see you out there. K Solutions, I see you. All right. Listen, do you all need to see this? Oh my goodness. Look at this. $1.56. Who can't come up with $1.56 to put on people wouldn't even bother. $1.56 won't do hardly anything to move the principal on how much I owe. But if you knew that it would save you $9.38 on your mortgage, you'd watch all your pennies, wouldn't you? Because all those pennies stack up. That's why I pick up pennies in the parking lot, because those pennies stack up. My wife and I were out walking one day and we found over $2 and change. You know what? I took that money home. You know what she did? She went and started putting all our spare change. She puts in these rolls, for dimes and pennies and nickels and quarters, and taking these pennies and putting them in these little rolls. And then we take them to the bank, and that's real money. If I can use that to prepay on our loans and save a ton of interest. $1.56, $9.38. Look here. We keep cutting this in half. Keep cutting it in half all the way down to 1 penny. This is the power of the penny, ladies and gentlemen. When 1 penny can save you 7 cents in interest that you never have to pay, even pennies matter. Even pennies matter when you understand what's going on. So let's take this off the screen. So we're going to, let me take this off. There we go. And I want to talk to you a minute. So, do you have any questions for me? Put your questions in the chat. Come on board. We're taking we're taking this down. It says, all right. Do I have any questions? Let's see. Yannicka says, sounds good. She always picks up pennies as well. That is wonderful. All right. Anna Brown says, yes, you're right. Even pennies count. Okay. All right. Let's pull this off. All right. So, any questions about what we've gone over so far? Okay. Because here's what I want to do for you. All right, Donna, what do you have to say to me? She says here, all right, Yannicka, all right, okay. Can you talk about this concept for interest savings by paying a mortgage or car note before the due date? I most certainly can. We're going to put that on the screen right now. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this off and put this on the screen. We'll do that. All right, and share my screen. There we go. All right, there it is. Okay, so we're going to put that on the screen. And Yannicka wants to know, how much does the course cost? It's not a course, okay? It's an entire educational program along with fintech, all right, financial technology, which is our cloud-based computing platform, and I will bring that up as well. All right, so our clients get education, and this, I'll bring that up. Let's see here, and this is what our clients get. Now, for them to get this, okay, hold on for a second. Hold on, I've got to bring this up. Uh-oh. Putting in the wrong I got to put in the right password here. Let me see here. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Try it again. I got to put the right password in so I can bring up our information. Let's see here. There it is. There, that's the one. Okay, so we'll bring that up and pull this over. I'll show you what we're talking about, and then we'll get into back to the other stuff. Okay, and I'll bring that over. Okay, it's pronounced Dana. Okay, okay. I got Yannicka and I've got Dana. All right, thank you very much. All right. There we go. All right, and then let's go here. And we're going to reset the program. There it is. We'll bring that over. Okay, there. That is our opportunity cost calculator. This is what our clients get. This, it's Yanishka. I'm sorry, Yanishka. Sorry. All right, Yanishka. All right, so here we go, Yanishka. So here's what we're doing. We have, this is our opportunity cost calculator. Our clients get this. It is like their Waze app for the money. And it tells them, we just put into here their financial situation, and then they just update it, tell the program how much they're spending and how much they're making. And every now and then they'll see these little arrows in the middle. And that gives them information on what to do. Take money from this account and put it in this account. We tell them how much. All right. And after a while, the program tells them which debt to pay and how much to pay on it. All right. These little arrows say take money from the savings account. Now we're going to put $710.88 on the MasterCard. This is how we attack the debt. The program tells them exactly what to do. How much does it cost? I don't know. It all depends on what we're doing for you. Some people have a small amount of debt. Some people have huge amounts of debt. I've got people with $1 million, $2 million worth of debt. We certainly don't charge them the same amount as somebody who has like $80,000 in student loan debt. So that's why we have them to fill out a request for a savings report, because that will let us know not only what we can do for them, but what services they will be provided and at what cost. And here's the great thing, Yanishka. The cost for the program is only a fraction of the amount we're going to save them in interest. So I really don't want my clients' money. I want the money they're no longer paying the bank. Just a fraction of it, they get to keep the rest. It is amazing how that works. Okay? So what else do I have to work on? Let me see here. What else do we have? Let me see. How much does the course cost? Just signed up for the affiliate. Every penny counts. Okay. Ken Russell says, how would you advise someone who struggled to get a mortgage and now have no additional cash flow? Ken, you and I know if they are struggling to get a mortgage and have no additional cash flow, they have the wrong mortgage, don't they? Okay. They have the wrong mortgage, don't they? Ken, give me in a percentage. How do you work with your clients? Because I know who you are. And this is where I think this is where you're going. What percentage of your take-home pay should we be spending on housing? Folks, it's no more than about 30%. If you're spending too much on housing and you have no additional money, that is not good. And Ken, you and I know that when people have no additional money, it's usually not correct. It's usually not correct. So when they do a budget, when people finally get around to doing a budget, they find out how much money they're bringing in and how much money they're actually spending. So here is someone who thought they had no money left over after all the bills were paid, when in fact, when we do the budget, this is $5,340 coming in. Their entire budget on average is $5,073.83 going out. They only have $266.17 discretionary. They can pay off all of the debt that they have, which is a total of, let me put it up here, principal remaining, $256,000. They can pay it all off in years to pay off, 11.2 years. You don't need much money to cancel a ton of interest. Boom, you don't. So that's what we're talking about. Let's take a look at what they're working with. Okay? Here's what they're working with. Here's their budget. $1,200 semi-monthly here. Okay? $1,400 semi-monthly here. Here's their bills and utilities. Here's their debts. Okay? All this adds up to about $5,073.83 in monthly expenses on average, leaving what's left over about $266. The programs, anytime it sees extra money, says, put that in your savings account, put that in savings. And at a certain point, as the savings account builds up, the program is going to give the client an instruction, take some of the money out of savings and put it towards the debt. And then we start the savings part all over again. So, Ken, you and I know that if people watch their pennies, they can do fantastic things. I had one lady call me up and said she didn't have any money left over, but when she actually did her own budget, she found out she had $2,000 left over after all the bills were paid. $2,000. And she was feeling like she was living paycheck to paycheck because she wasn't tracking her spending. Our program helps you to track your spending so that you know exactly how much you're spending, and even how much you want to spend on your family to create memories so that you can have a lifestyle budget as well. Lifestyle is plugged into this. Lifestyle becomes one of your bills. How much you want to spend on yourself, you just plug it in. And then we take what's ever left over and put it in the savings. Folks, does that make sense to you? That if you're watching the pennies, even $2.66, $266.17 on average. Some months you spend a little bit more, some months you spend a little bit less, but on average, that's what we're dealing with. And as we pay off the debt, okay, let's go to the debt. Boom, go to the accounts here. As we pay off the debt, look what happens. I get to reclaim this $216 in minimum payments on the Visa, on this Visa, and add that to the discretionary spending. That becomes part of this. Back to the budget. Okay, $266.17. So let me show you how that works. Once this is paid off, I'm going to give you an example. So I'm going to go in and tell the program that we don't have this to pay anymore. Okay, let's say we pay this off. What happens to my discretionary income? Look what happens. $216. Now let's go back to the budget. Look here. Ooh, my average discretionary just increased. Do you know what happens to most people when they pay off something where they're $216, they're no longer paying Visa? You know what happens to that? Somehow, magically, their expenses increase by that same $216. They never really get to benefit from paying off the debt. Our program gets people in the habit of putting money in savings that they don't need for anything else. So here's how that works. So once you start paying off the debt, and it says, oh, we're going to take money out of your checking and put it into savings, because this $950 now you don't need for anything else. It just becomes part of the daily routine. You see what I'm saying? Okay, pay your debt, have some fun with the family, and anytime the program sees extra money, let's put that in savings. Okay, and then we'll put it on some debt. And look here, and we'll put it on the MasterCard. Well, listen, the program is going to tell you what to do after you save the money. All right, let's see what happens. What happens when? All right, I'm just going to give you some examples. We paid off this MasterCard. No, this credit union loan. Okay, here's the minivan. Okay, Ken, listen, I know you know. We're going to pay off the minivan now. What happens when we pay off the minivan? That's $440.55 we can reclaim. Do you know that the AI system that we provide to people, the program knows basically when that's going to get paid off? I don't know. The algorithm knows, and it looks into the future and says, based on your spending habits, when can this be paid off? And it incorporates that into its calculations as to when this couple can be out of debt. So now I'm going to go in and we have $18,500 here. When that's paid off, okay, we're going to save that. What does that do? What does that do to our budget? Now our budget has increased to $922.72, and now we're going to be out of debt in 9.5 years. Do you see how it works, ladies and gentlemen? So the program will find where is the best place to put money to save the most in interest. So when we start putting money on principal right here, the program will calculate how much interest you're saving because of that. If we prepay this, that means you don't have to pay MasterCard $750 in interest. Okay, when you pay off when you put money on the car loan, it will calculate how much you don't have to put on to pay there. When you put money on the mortgage, we're going to calculate how much interest you just saved or don't have to pay the mortgage anymore. We start adding it up. It becomes crazy what we can do. Okay, so small amounts of money input into this thing can. Let me run this. Let me run this for you. I'm going to reset this account, and we're going to run this scenario, and I'm going to show you what happens. So Ken has a question here. It says $216 per month is over $1,000 savings. 216 per month is over $1,000, over 12,000 a year, 120,000 in a decade. These pennies add up, don't they, Ken? These pennies add up. If you start managing the pennies now, okay, it doesn't seem like much. You start managing them now, they start to build up and build up and build up so that you can not only master your debt, you can turn it into great wealth by mastering that. So let me show you something here, okay? This is how the program works. I'm just going to take off when John and Rebecca Jones here on this one, they have a biweekly income of $950. They have a weekly income of $700. John and Rebecca have about $1,300 left over each month that the program is working with. And they're going to be able to pay off a total of, let me see here, principal remaining, a total of $227,000. Okay. They're going to be able to pay it off in 7.7 years. Why? Because the program is already calculated. They're going to save $179,000 in interest by watching the pennies. Watch this. So when I go through this, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be able to see what happens. I'm going to do two scenarios here. I'm going to show you what happens when you do this day by day. Okay. John gets paid. We're back in March 1st. He gets paid $950. So he just clicks on execute, tells the program he got paid $950. Okay. And when he does that, that disappears from his screen. But if he goes to his accounts, he can see that his checking account in the program, this is his virtual checking account, which matches their joint checking account at the bank. We go into the history and we see that we started out at a balance of $500. We put $950 into the bank, and now they have a balance of $1,450. So the checking account in the program matches exactly what they have in their joint checking account at the bank because they are updating their program. They're telling the program how much money they're making and how much money they're spending. Does that make sense? When they pay their utilities, they're going to tell the program how much the average utility bill is. But when they pay their utilities, they're going to tell the program, oh, shoot, our utility bill was only $150 this month. That means there's $50 remaining. This is a $200,000 mortgage at 6%, the same one we used in our example before. We found out that $50 that they didn't pay on the electricity bill this month, that $50 can save them an additional $250 in interest if applied to the mortgage. They meant to spend it on the utilities. They didn't spend it on utilities. So when the program sees the money that they didn't spend, it says, let me take up these little bits of money and see what I could do with that little bits of money if we apply that amount of money to the debt instead of on the power bill this month, because we didn't need all the money that was allocated to power. We can save an additional $250 in interest by applying it to the debt. That's what this program does. Okay? So let me go through here and we're going to reset the entire program here, reset the account, and I'm going to take you through an entire couple of months. Okay, so we reset it, and we're going to show you by managing the pennies, picking up a few dollars and cents here, we could do more stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the entire month. So we're looking at money coming in, we pay the mortgage, we pay the utility bill. Rebecca gets a paycheck. Let's see here. The program says put $100.90 in savings. Okay, because we don't need that money for anything else. Pay the phone bill, get another paycheck, put some more money in savings, and then put money, right, we're going to get down here and put money on the debt, put some money on the mortgage, all right, and on the Visa. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening. So if we go through this, I'm going to take instead of clicking on one by one, I'm just going to take the entire month. Okay, we're going to take the entire month of March, click on execute multiples. We're going to tell the program, oh, here, $150 instead of $200. Okay, and we're going to close out these budgets. There we go. And we're going to take care of all of March right now. When we do that, then amount of interest that we save, and then when we start to put money on debt, the amount of interest that we save will show up here. So we're going to take care, look at April, all right? And look here, because of April, we're going to be putting money on the Visa and the mortgage. I'm going to show you ahead of time what happens when we do that. I put this amount of money on the Visa, we execute that. We're going to save $1,800 in interest that we never have to pay. All right. And then we're going to take some of that money and put it on the mortgage and put $599.22. John and Rebecca Jones have about over $5,000 in savings right now. And remember when I said this is an optimization program? Meaning the program says stop at $599.22. It could easily put $600 on, could easily put $1,600 on the mortgage, but the program says stop right here. This is called critical point analysis, meaning we're going to put the least amount on the debt so that you can maximize the amount of interest you're saving per dollar. Okay? So when we put the $599.22 on, we save $2,956 in interest we never have to pay. Look at that. Look at that. So Ken Russell says, should we have a line of credit to use as an emergency fund and use all the cash to reduce debt? No, we should have a balance of cash and using a line of credit as backup. And here's what I'm saying. Never use credit unless you have the cash to easily pay it off. Can I give you I'll give you an example of that. Okay. So right now, this is set up to pay bills with the checking account. Okay. So what I could do, Ken, is go into the budget and tell the program for my food and dining, I don't want to use my checking account for food and dining. Okay. I want to use my credit card. Okay. And I save that. So now I'm going to use a line of credit for my for that. And I can do that with the bills that I can pay with a credit card. So when my program sees that, it sees extra cash in my checking account, and then it will dictate how much extra money I can put towards debt reduction sooner. But the program will automatically increase the minimum payment that has to go to that credit card next month. To if I put all $400 worth for my grocery budget on the credit card, I tell the program that. So let's go back and take a look. So my grocery budget now is now on the Visa. Do you see that? All $400. My minimum payment on that card is about $50. Let's say it's about $50. So instead, the program for next month is going to increase my minimum payment to $450 so that I can pay the whole thing off. So I'm leveraging their money this month. So maybe I can put a little bit more money towards debt reduction because that's what the program reads, but it still pays the debt off next month. So I am not paying interest for buying food. Does that make sense? So when I do that, I want a balance of cash and leverage credit. Don't use credit if you can't pay it off. Okay, you have to have some cash reserves. So I don't need to have tens of thousands of dollars in cash reserves because at any given time, I don't have like $100,000 emergency or a $50,000 emergency. I may have a $10,000 emergency or a $5,000 emergency. So it's good enough to keep $5,000 or $10,000 available. And I can put my emergency on my credit card and the program will pay it off strategically. So I can preserve my cash, but at any time I want, if it becomes necessary, I can pay the card off immediately if I need to, because I'm going to take a look at my overall spending for the past, and then I'm going to ask myself, what is the biggest emergency I ever had? Keep that amount on reserve, but I'm still going to use my credit cards for emergencies and for regular purchases. Now, why would I do that? That not only does it give me more cash available to put on debt, but I'm going to collect the points for free. My wife and I are going on a trip, and in October, I've already bought the tickets. I already bought the plane tickets. How did I buy them? With American Express points. We're flying first class for free. Not only that, but the points that I use, I get 35% of those points back. So here's what I'm saying. You can manage your finances so that you can use lines of credit, but not put yourself in harm's way. So you need a balance of cash and credit. Does that make sense? So that's how we do it. So let's go through this thing. All right. I've done April. So we're going to do all of April. We're going to click on this. Okay. And now do April. Watch this. We're putting money on debt 2 separate times. Okay. Watch this. So we're going to execute multiples. Select all. Putting money on debt. Now look at this. I have a total of $7,781 in interest saved because I put money on the debt. And I need you to see this. I need you to see this. We're going to go to the accounts. I still have $4,700 in savings in the bank. But I've taken money out of savings to put on debt so that I have just saved $7,781 in future interest that I never have to pay. Folks, I hope this has been beneficial to show you how we can save up pennies and kill debt so that we don't have to keep debt around forever like a household pet. I mean, it just keeps hanging around. We can eliminate it. So John and Rebecca Jones are going to be out of debt in 7.5 years now because they're saving $181,100 in interest that they never have to pay. On their journey to saving all this interest, in 2 months, they're already $7,781 closer to their goal, meaning when their actual amount of interest saved meets the potential amount of interest saved, they'll be out of debt in 7.5 years just by managing the pennies. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. I want you to come back on Sunday when we're going to be we're going to be bringing a success coach in on Sunday. Okay. Success coach. His name is Jerry Malcolm. We're going to be talking about how you think about. Now he gave me, let me pull up Jerry's information here. He gave me let's see here. He gave me the title, all right, of this thing. Let's see. Jerry Malcolm, where are you? Because you gave me what I want to give you what he gave me. All right, directly. All right. All right, Jerry Malcolm. All right, here's what he gave me. All right. And all right, here's what we're going to do. Passion into profit. Passion into profit. Success coach Jerry Malcolm will be here at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, where we're going to be talking about passion into profit. Jerry Malcolm, success coach. You don't want to miss that. So listen, folks, I'm just saying that these days, just having a job may not be enough. You may want to take some of your passion that you have, even though you're working a 9 to 5, and turn it into extra income. Listen, you need about 6 or 7 streams of income, and you can do it easily if you know what to do. But most people don't, because fear gets in the way. And Jerry Malcolm is going to show you how you can work through your fear, turn it into courage, and start to mobilize your money. We're going to be talking about it Sunday. Don't miss it. Okay? Don't miss it. So we're going to get out of here today. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Listen, don't call me tomorrow because I will be in church tomorrow, but have a great and wonderful rest of your Friday. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye now. How many want to know how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years? You can do all of this without refinancing, without change to your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle.
Me and my husband do the P.I.L.L method, and last year we were able to pay down $33,000 on our mortgage without feeling like we were poor. We still did tons of entertaining things and enjoyed our family.
You don't have to eat beans and rice every day. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to pay off your mortgage. All you need to do is pay the bank less interest. That's what we're talking about today. Here is what P.I.L.L method stands for: prepayment of principal, isolation of principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. You understand it? You have a way of getting out of debt more efficiently. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. You think you're buying a $500,000 home. The true cost of that home is what? $758,000. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51.777%. That's what's going on with this loan. The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. I need you to understand the power of a penny. You will not hear what I'm talking about from Dave Ramsey. Do you know why? Because I own the copyright. I literally wrote the book.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
is I'm going to go through the P.I.L. method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.